spent his weekend making a push at Giannis' MVP crown. Our friends at Fox Bet took notice with the Greek Freak's odds now at -400 and LeBron's at +225. Nick, those sound like gambling numbers to me. How close is this race?
Well, they are gambling numbers, Jenna, and according to those odds, it's not that close at all. Now, it's far closer than when it was.
I literally did not know that.
Well,
I can't believe how close it is.
Think about it like this. That means if you were to bet $400 on Giannis, you would win 100 if he wins. And if you were to bet $400 on LeBron, you would win 900 if he wins. So,
you want to do my taxes now?
I got you, bro. So they would say it's like a 9-to-1 favorite in those, head-to-head according to those numbers. But Giannis was like a 22-to-1 favorite a week and a half ago, according to those same, Fox Bet there. So he is clearly. He has shortened the gap, so to speak. And I don't know if people are looking at the standings this morning, but there were two things Giannis had overwhelming in his favor when I said he was the overwhelming favorite to win league MVP. One was he was on pace to set the all-time PER record. And I know you probably don't care that much about that stat, but the top 9 PER seasons ever are 4 Wilt seasons, 2 LeBron seasons, 3 Jordan seasons, and the Steph Curry 15-16 season. So some great seasons from great players. Giannis was on pace to have the best season of any of them.
Did Wilt win any championships around that time?
Yeah, he won 2 titles. He won
that
one.
Time? That time?
Yeah, one of them, 1 year. But and LeBron won a few, and Jordan obviously won a bunch. But regardless, Steph didn't win his that year. Okay. But Giannis was on pace to set that record. He no longer is. He's now around 6th, 7th. And the other thing was they were going to win 70 games. Now, if you look at the standings, Milwaukee's got 12 losses. The Lakers have 13 losses. If not only does Milwaukee not win 70, which they won't, they'd have to go 17-0 the rest of the way. But if the Lakers finish with the better record in the tougher conference, when we just saw them play head-to-head, and we remember it much better than the December 19th meeting where Giannis outplayed LeBron, that's how LeBron makes this a real conversation and potentially overtakes Giannis.
LeBron is the MVP.
There we go. Thank you.
Point blank, man. I mean, Giannis, he had his run last year. It's an identical year. He's dominated last year. He's dominating the same way this year.
So if it was good enough to win MVP last year, why wouldn't it be good enough this year?
Because we've seen where it ended for him.
Oh, that's good.
He's a great regular season player. And I think that's the ceiling for Milwaukee. I don't think Giannis is taking these guys to a championship. I just don't see it. I don't think he has enough skill as far as being able to shoot and make plays for people. Yeah, he's great. I'm not taking anything from Giannis, but LeBron is the MVP, and I just don't think Milwaukee has what it takes to be champions.
So LeBron didn't have his most efficient week. He would tell you the great numbers, but not the most efficient. But he had the most impactful weekend against the Bucks and against the Clippers. Can you award the MVP to the most impactful player, but not necessarily the one who can put up the best numbers and get their team the furthest?
I think impact. And I think that all falls in together. You know what I'm saying? I think winning and impact of your team gets you MVP. Both of those things. You have to win to get MVP, and you have to be probably the most impactful player on your team to win MVP.
Nick,
Go ahead.
You don't have a vote. You should.
I don't have a vote.
You should have a vote.
Can't believe
NBA office. We're going to come over there and submit Nick's vote.
They're going to fill out your form for you. Every year.
No, but listen to this.
Braun.
I'm out here saying Giannis. You're the one saying Braun.
We're going to vote for Braun.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Season's
not over.
Nick, you've got Giannis, correct?
Yes, right now.
Okay, here's what I wrote in my notes. Nick is an influencer.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate that. Especially NBA Twitter influencer, yes.
And Instagram.
Yeah, okay, sure.
You can get a check.
Yeah, there we go.
Alvin Gentry.
Yeah.
LeBron's the MVP. Anthony Davis. LeBron's the MVP. Baron Davis, LeBron's the MVP. Kornheiser and Wilbon, LeBron's the MVP. Nick Wright, the influencer. LeBron's guy. Giannis is the MVP. So if I'm a voter looking to be influenced, I turn to influencers.
I understand.
And, well, if Nick Wright has got Giannis, then why would I have LeBron?
Which is probably why, shortly after the game against Milwaukee, I got a text from someone, I'd say, close to LeBron, that said, where do you think the MVP race is now? Which is how close did actually game against the Clippers, not a game against Milwaukee. It was Sunday. And so I understand that, but I have to be fair. And the MVP is not a postseason award. Now, maybe it should be. And if it was, then LeBron would have a bunch more than he currently does. But it is we don't have a playoffs award. I think we should. If I had to vote, I would talk to them about that, because we have a regular season award.
Vote first.
We have a regular season award, and we have a finals MVP award, but we don't have a overall postseason. They
used to have a Western Conference Finals MVP award.
Yep.
They don't even have that.
No, and so because you think back, so like what was the story of the 2018 postseason, for example? It was LeBron's run to the finals. The buzzer beater against Indiana, the buzzer beater and sweep against Toronto, the 7-game series victory over Boston, the 51 points against the Warriors in game 1 of the finals. But obviously, there's no award for that, because you get swept out of the finals. You're not going to win finals MVP, and you shouldn't. And so there are different awards and maybe awards that should exist. But the regular season MVP cannot be just about who would I want most on my team in the postseason. Obviously, that is LeBron James, and some people would say Giannis wouldn't finish top 2 in that, because some people would rather have Kawhi on their team in the postseason than Giannis, even if I disagree with it. But you've got to be fair about these things. We can't just change the rules because my guy this year, and I think a few years, is shortchanged by them. What is most interesting, though, is somehow it's not over. What's most interesting is playing by the rules the league has set, LeBron can still overtake him. If we remove anything about the postseason, it's just about who was best this year. Best record in the West, going to win the assist title, a totally new team, totally new coaching staff. He has to lead on the court and off the court, as opposed to Giannis. It's the same team as last year, same coaching staff as last year. And so his job's a lot easier in the at least slightly easier conference. Those are the cases to overcome the fact that Giannis has been more efficient, the fact that Giannis is putting up prime Shaq type of numbers. And with Giannis now missing time and the Lakers continuing to win, it can become very, very close. LeBron can overtake him, but we got 17 games left. He hasn't done it yet.
If you give Nick a vote, he's not always going to vote for LeBron.
No.
He's thinking about it.
Exactly.
Nick will have a heart attack if they give it to LeBron, but with an
LeBron is the only player that could have won MVP after losing in the finals, too.
Yeah, should have.
They were talking about it.
Should have been 15.
Let's set you up with your plans for tonight. Time to set your DVR, sticking with the Lakers, who host the Nets tonight, 10:30 Eastern. Nick, Lakers looking to win 12 of 13 here.
Yeah, and I think it's very important who gets the #1 overall seed. Now that that's all of a sudden available, the Bucks have lost 2 in a row, so the Lakers looking to win. Stack, I wouldn't be shocked, though, if LeBron doesn't play tonight. He's listed as questionable with a sore groin. They've been very cautious smartly with that groin after what happened last year. So I don't know if we'll see LeBron. I also don't know if they need LeBron to beat the Bucks tonight, Stan.
Well, they have to
to beat the Nets, pardon.
They have to be smart. They're rolling right now. They want to roll the last 2 weeks of the season, so they don't want to push too much right now. They're playing great. Keep that field going, but don't wear your players down. You got a long season ahead.
All right, let's stay on the West Coast, where the Warriors are hosting Kawhi and the Clippers. Steven, could we see an upset tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
I mean, if Steph plays...
Is he okay?
We don't know. He had the flu, so we don't know what Steph...
This would be a nice...
Did y'all hear the question?
What?
Could we? I didn't say yes.
Oh, sorry.
We could.
Back to Steph.
Anything's possible, but it won't happen.
Oh, you had a long pregnant pause there, Stack. I thought he was just...
Anything can happen.
But you're not picking it.
No.
If Steph plays, the Warriors win.
I buy that.
If Steph plays, because he won't be on the silly minutes restriction with a broken hand. Why are you on a minutes restriction with a hand injury? I don't understand.
Because you don't want to risk a more serious injury and you'll be out next year.
Come on, he's been out 4 months.
Makes sense, bro. They're not going to playoffs.
Come on.
What you risking?
Come on. You would play.
Set the alarm
I'm
here.
not Steph, though.
This is set your alarm if you're a Houston Rockets fan.
On to the Rockets.
They built a real estate development that last,
your alarm?
didn't they?
That's my alarm.
Like a 5 alarm.
Yeah.
It's not an alarm.
Yeah.
Houston looking to snap their 4-game losing streak. Nick, you called this slide an abomination yesterday.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. If the Rockets lose tonight, I'll officially be off the... They're going to make the Western
I told you the alarm is... Can we get an alarm?
I still have them in the Western Conference Finals.
What?
I won't abandon it. But if they lose tonight,
they won't win it.
You have who?
The Houston Rockets in the Western Conference
With 2 scores?
They got more than 2 scores.
Who?
Come on, man.
2 scores. Who
Eric
have
Gordon,
to score
when he
to
gets
win.
healthy. I know you don't like Robert Covington.
I like him. He's a decent defender.
Listen, I'm not yet abandoning the Rockets. The take is still alive. It is hanging by a thread. Much like I think the market will today, the Rockets will tonight bounce back a bit. Now, do they get to their previous highs? Probably not. But I think it bounces back.
You're still buying Rocket stock?
I'm not selling my Rocket stock. And every day you're not a seller, you're essentially a buyer. I learned that.
Ja Morant and the Grizzlies will host the Magic tonight. So Memphis is looking to hold on to that 8th seed in the West. Steven, can the Grizzlies be a scary playoff matchup?
Yeah, those guys play hard. I mean, they have a nice feel in Memphis. They're known for a tough, grounded type of team with Tony Allen and Zach Randolph. They kind of built that feel there, and they're trying to get that back. This young kid got these kids going. They're going to be dangerous.
How important for Ja moving forward would be playoff